Hi, third graders. Today's learning intention is I can solve word problems involving length. Our success criteria is I can measure lengths in customary units. I can solve word problems about length. So let's go ahead and get started. I like to begin by really thinking about a ruler as a fraction number line. You guys were experts in fractions before we left. So let's take a minute to take a closer look at an inch. We can measure things in whole inches, or we may have to break these inches down into smaller pieces, into equal parts or fractions. Remember, count the spaces, not the lines. We also want to remember that we count the spaces between each whole. From 0 to 1, I counted 2 spaces to show this 1/2. That 2 equal spaces equals to 1/2. So if an item was this long, the item would be 1/2 an inch long. Now let's go past the 1 where I've broken them into fourths. We see that there's 4 equal spaces, meaning that this fraction number line is broken into fourths. So here's 1/4, 2/4. We remember that half is the same or equivalent as 2/4. So 1 and 2/4 would be the same as 1 and 1/2, 1 and 3/4, and then 1 and 4/4, but that would be equivalent to 2. So as we go, if we measured this purple line all the way here, we would say that it was measured 1 and 1/2 inches, or we could say 1 and 2/4 inches. That would be the same. So the ruler we can see is broken into fourths. So we're going to practice measuring some items in fourths and halves. So let's go ahead and look here. Let me erase my stuff from the other page and look at this lollipop. The first thing I like to do when I am measuring, I like to draw a line so that I can really get exactly where that number line is. So I'm going to go ahead and draw both of my lines. Now, when I look at this one, I see that in between each hole are 2 equal spaces. So I see that each hole is broken into halves. So when I come to this 4, I know that the whole number is 4, the lollipop is 4 whole inches, and then I'm going to see that this is half because there's 2 equal spaces. So this lollipop is 1/2 inches long. I want you to pause and write down how long the pencil is. Good job. You see that the pencil goes past the 9. We see the 2 equal spaces. So we see that the pencil is 9 and 1/2 inches long. Great work. Okay, let's keep going. Let's look at one. Let's do one together, and then you'll pause and do it on your own. So I'm going to start again by drawing a line so that I can see exactly where each item lines up. I like to make sure, sorry, that was wiggly, but that's where it went. I like to make sure it starts at the 0, and it does. Each of these do. Now, when I look between each whole number, I see 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are broken into fourths or quarter inches. Remember, count the spaces, not the lines. So I see that the whole number for the frog is 2 inches. And then I'm going to count my spaces. 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. So the frog is 2 3/4 or 2 3/4 inches long. Pause and measure the cotton candy. Great job. You saw again for this one, there is 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces in between each whole number. So it's broken into quarter inches or fourths. So our whole number is 5, and then it goes up to that first one. So 5 and 1/4. Now, I want you guys to pause and answer each of these. Pay close attention if it's to the whole inch, half inch, or quarter inch. Remember, count the spaces, not the lines. Okay, great job. The first answer is 2 whole inches. There's no spaces in between the holes. So you would either write that as 2IN, or you could even write it as 2 with this for the inches symbol. So let's look down at the next one. I drew my line down. I saw from 5 to 6 there were 4 spaces. So I knew that we were into fourths. I have my whole number is 5 inches, and then 1, 2, 3, 5 3/4, or 5 3/4 inches. Okay, let's look at our last one. I drew my line. I saw that there was only 2 sections here between the whole numbers, meaning that this was halves, 2 1/2 inches long. Great work, guys. Now, we're going to focus on the second half of our success criteria. I can solve word problems involving length. So now we're going to have to read these word problems and figure out what operation we're going to solve. So let's read together. John and Elena are making a tire swing. John has a rope that is 50 inches long. Elena has a rope that is 135 inches long. If they connected their ropes, how long would their new rope be? So I look and I see that if they connected them, this would be longer. So I know that I am going to be adding. Let's go ahead and all write this down together. Make sure we line up our numbers so that we can make sure that we're adding ones to ones, tens to tens. You can also draw a picture if you prefer. Go ahead and pause and solve, and then come back for the answer. Okay, 5 plus 0 is 5. 3 plus 5 is 8. 1 plus 0 is 1. So their new rope would be B, 185 inches. Okay, good job. So we had to add for that one. Remember, when we're solving those word problems, we have to think about what operation. Okay, next problem. Miss Kennedy has a string that is 20 feet long. She wants to make a necklace for herself and 3 friends. How many feet will each necklace be? Number 1, I know that this number is going to be smaller because she's got to take this 20 feet long string and break it into pieces for her and her friends. So I know when I divide something and share something that I'm going to use the operation of division. So our whole number, what we have in all, is 20 feet, and we're going to divide that up between Kennedy and 3 friends. So I've got to divide by 4 because I want to make sure that Kennedy gets a necklace too. That's a trick question there. So good we caught it. Go ahead, pause, solve, come back for the answer. Okay, welcome back. I went ahead and drew equal groups for this one, and I just passed out. I started with the 4 circles, and I said 1, 2, 3, 4 until I got to 20, and that ended up with 5 in each. So each friend would get a necklace that is 5 feet long. I can also check by remembering that 5 times 4 equals 20. Great job. Just 2 more problems. You're doing amazing. The pipe under the courthouse is 135 yards long. The pipe under the school is 90 yards shorter than the pipe under the courthouse. How long is the pipe under the school? So I know that the pipe under the school is going to be shorter than the courthouse. So I know to make a number smaller, I'm going to need to subtract Go ahead and line up those numbers, making sure that your tens are under your tens and your ones are under your ones. Pause, solve, and then we'll check it together. Great work. I see right here, I remember with subtraction, BBB. If the bottom number's bigger, then you have to borrow. 0 is not bigger than 5, so I can subtract. 5 minus 0 is 5. Now, when I come next door, I see that 9 is bigger than 3. So if I have 3 cookies, I can't give Miss LaRusso 9. I don't have enough, so I need to borrow. I'm going to go next door. This becomes a 0. Then I'm going to slide that over to make this a 13. 13 minus 9, I'm going to count up. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That is 4. I did that right there on my fingers. So the pipe under the school is 45 yards long. Great work. One more. Miss Cash is building a tower with 6 pieces of wood that are each 3 feet long. How many total feet will her tower be? Okay, so we've got 6 pieces, 3 feet long. Total tells me this number is going to be a bigger number. I want you to pause, figure out the operation, solve it, and then press play when you're ready to check your work. Welcome back. While you were solving, I went ahead and drew a picture of the problem. I saw that there was 6 pieces of wood, and I just drew 3 on each of those 6 pieces of wood. I saw that that was repeated addition or multiplication. So I'm going to say 6 times 3, and I know that 6 times 3 is 18. I could draw a picture or I could use repeated addition, but most of us can count that up by saying 2 6s are 12, and another 6 would be 18. So her tower would be 18 feet tall. Really great job today, guys. I want you to head off here, go to Google Classroom, and solve your exit slip. It's a Google form. You're going to need paper and pencil so you can show your work. You've got this. You've learned fractions and word problems all year long, and now it's time to show what you know. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.